Hey, how's it going? So what we have here today is MiniMax NT heater, and what I've been experiencing is problems with the heater cutting in and out, and it eventually shows an error code, this E02, and this is with the spa running. It has the light on for power, pressure switch, thermostat, and the service lights on. When I originally looked at this and trying to figure out what was going on, I found a video online, and it talked about changing a thermistor. So I went through that process, and I'll show you here in a minute what that looks like. But for me, it did not resolve the problem. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to get in here to check some of the electrical that's associated with the E02 air. First, I'm going to take off this panel, and right behind it, you're going to see a bunch of switches. And one of the parts that I originally changed, which was a thermistor, like I said on YouTube, I found a video, and it talked about basically this thermistor. So you have to take this panel off, take the two screws off, put this aside, and the thermistor was this part right here. I'll bring this in a little bit. So, like I was saying, this is the thermistor here. This little brass fitting with a wire, and it goes through here and goes into this control panel on the other side. And this is what the video online was showing that needed to be replaced. You can see where basically it comes through the wall here. And this is on right now, so you don't want to be touching anything when the power's on. And then it plugged into that socket right there. But for me, and you can see here, this will be a reason why I'm going to show you what else to check. See right there, it says air code E02, high temperature limit. That's the same code that we have in the front of the panel. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you how to shut this off and then troubleshoot whether or not you have a high temperature or low temperature switch problem on the unit. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open this up and then turn off the switch. If you look down here, there's this power switch, and underneath, way underneath, you should see a switch. You just click that off. Okay, so now what we're going to do is a high temperature switch. There's actually two switches on this thing. You can see there's one right here, and then there's another one over here. This one here, just so happens I did some research, and this one here is the low temperature switch. And so if you look at it, it's kind of hard to see on this. The number on it, it says 115. There you go. You see that number right there? It's 115. That's the low temp 115. This one here is the high temp switch. And again, you want to do this with the power off. You can get, it's like 24 volts going on here. So if you look at that, this one is actually 150. It says L150, so it's the high temp. And what it is this one's monitoring the temperature of the water coming into the heater, and this is monitoring the temperature of the water coming out, and just to make sure that the heater doesn't get too hot. So what we're going to do is we're going to check these two switches to see if one of them is bad, and see if that resolves our E02 problem. Okay, so now what we're going to do is, with the pump off, the power is off, we'll make sure there's no power going to any of the connections. We're going to basically check these two switches. So like I said, this is a low temperature and the high temperature. And so these are what they call normally closed switches, meaning that if you were to check what they call continuity, means that the power from one terminal, like on this side, goes to this terminal. So from one side to the other, when the switch is in the normally closed position. The way it works is that when the temperature exceeds 115 degrees, this will open up and shut down the heater assembly, or actually the blower assembly that runs the burners. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull off these two wires on each one, and they're not polarity sensitive, so you just want to make sure you don't damage them. So grab them by the connector, don't grab them by the wire, you can pull them out. And what we're going to do is we're going to check continuity. And how you do that is you take this is a Craftsman meter, and if you look on these, let me see if you can see this on the video. If you look on here, you can see there's this one little spot here. It looks like a little diode, and then also it has kind of a a little waveform. And what that is that's just for checking what we call continuity, meaning is there electrical connection between one point or another. And the way you can check is, you can see if I take and touch these two probes together, it makes a noise. And so that's how you can check a wire, if there's a break in a wire, or in this case if the switch is actually normally closed like it's supposed to be. So that's what I'm going to do right now, is check these. So first I'm going to check this high temperature one. So I'm going to put one terminal on here, and again the power is off, and then the other one here, so it makes a noise. So that means that one is actually a good switch. So it's basically normally closed, meaning there's continuity between these two terminals. Okay, so let's check this one out. This is a low temp, one on one terminal, one on the other, and you see nothing's happening. So if it's not continuity, that means that this is not working correctly, because it's not 115 degrees because everything's cold, and yet the switch is open. So I know that this is my bad switch. So what we're going to do is we're going to change that. It just so happened I checked this before I ordered the part, and this is what the part looks like. Let me see if you can see that in the bag. This one is 471587, and if you look on the package, you can see basically it says 115 degrees right here, and that's critical that you get 115 in the correct spot. So what I'm going to do is take out the current one, and I'm hoping all I need for this is this crescent wrench. So get this in here. Be careful because it's plastic. It comes out relatively easy. There might be some water that comes out here because I just recently had the pump on. You can see that it just kind of unscrews. I want to make sure I don't get any of that junk down in there, so just blow off the compound there. So there it goes. So there's the one that came out. So now I'm just going to take the other one and screw it right in. If you have some of that plastic pipe dope, it's for plastic fittings, you could put that on there. It just so happens I don't, so I'm going to take my chances with just going and screwing it in. And these you don't want to over tighten or you can crack them. I'm not a pool professional, but I did install the whole entire pool system myself, so I did all the design and installation and all that. So anyways, just want to tighten it to where it's snug, not too tight, or you will have a problem with cracks. It'll be bad. Then you'll be replacing a whole heater instead of just a switch. So I think that'll be it. I'll just get this one more turn. That'll be good. It's always to be a little less tight than too tight, because if you over tighten it cracks, if you under tighten it leaks, and you can always tighten it more. And then just put the terminals back on both switches. Hopefully, if all works out okay, our E02 air code will go away. Alright, so I just turned the pump back on, so it should start on pretty soon, but I do need to turn the heater back on, so I'm going to open this back up and go back to that same switch and turn that switch on. So that should give us power on the front panel. And so it says off, so we'll give it a minute here. If it doesn't turn right on, then we'll go and double check. There it goes. Alright, so I got the pump going. Show you this a little bit. It always takes a little bit of time before the thermostat goes on. The spa light is on, so it's still in spa mode. Pressure switch is on. There goes the thermostat. And there goes the fan. Air is kicking on. That's a good sign. We got temperature. And then after a while, if everything works out, hopefully we'll hear the burners kick on. There's a click. goes the burners. So it looks like they were working. Last time, basically, when it had the E02 code, it would just, the fan would be on for an extended period of time, and then it would finally air out after 5 or 10 minutes of waiting. So it looks like we're good to go. So hopefully that works for you guys. Again, I know some of the other guys have said that the thermostat was the problem, or the thermistor is, which was this, was the problem in some cases. Probably the easiest thing to do if you have that same code is go through the process as we're showing you and check to make sure these two switches are first good. If those are good, then I would basically go back and try that. All right, hopefully this helps you guys. Have a good one. Take care.